What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the week's hottest topics. This is going to be the week of August 24th through the 28th. This is the first time that I actually knew what the week was, and the reason why I know what the week was is because my cousin's birthday was Monday, Bestie's birthday was Tuesday. But we're going to talk, this is the week's hottest topics. This is edition number 12. Can't believe I'm already at 12. But you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and just talk about some of the hottest topics in this week. All right, you guys, so there are a lot of big stories this week. This is probably going to be a lengthy video, but the first thing that I want to talk about is going to be the hurricanes that are hitting, Louisiana and parts of Texas, which you guys know that I am in Texas. I'm safe as of right now. I am currently at home in Dallas. It's sunny outside. Now, however, I am traveling to East Texas, which is my home, either tonight or tomorrow. And I know that down there is supposed to be some bad weather. I hope and pray that it's not. I really hope and pray, because I hate driving in bad weather. But as of right now, I'm fine. My family's fine. I know that with Hurricane Laura, there have been reported so far 6 deaths. And I know that in Louisiana, I don't know what part of Louisiana, there was a Confederate monument that she just said, "Fuck you," and took it down. It's so crazy to think about, Hurricane Laura, and that tomorrow is going to mark 15 years since since Hurricane Katrina happened. And man, I actually remember when Katrina happened. That was, my hometown of Tyler. It's kind of far from Louisiana, but it's not that far from Louisiana. Actually, we're not that far from Louisiana. Like, my hometown is literally on the cusp. Like, it doesn't take us maybe 2 to 3 hours tops to get to Louisiana. So I remember in 2005 with Hurricane Katrina, I remember, they were talking about what devastation it was going to do in Louisiana. We weren't supposed to get any of that, but what we did, however, get was those terrible, terrible rains that came from Louisiana. I mean, we did expect bad weather. We expected it to be worse, but thank God for us, it wasn't. Because, I remember like it was yesterday, like me and my mom, we went to our local grocery store. We bought all the non-perishable food that we could buy. We bought water. And the first thing that I was looking, I'm like, "You buying all this stuff?" I'm like, "You're going to be the only one that's going to be eating this." She's like, "Well, you might want to figure out a way to eat it." I'm like, "I don't eat that stuff." I'm like, "I don't eat that." She says, "Well, what you going to do if you can't get to, Burger King, all the places that you like to eat at, or what if you can't cook on the stove or other stuff?" I'm like, "Mama, we'll figure it out when we get there, but I don't eat that shit that you buying." The only thing that she bought that I would eat was some noodles. That was it. Anything else that she bought, like the canned goods shit, I'm like, "Mama, I am not touching that. You know that. I don't know why you buying it in such bulk. Because the only person that's literally going to eat that shit is you." And I told her that. I didn't say shit, but I told her, the only person that's going to eat that is you, right? "Well, you might want to figure out a way to eat it." Yeah, whatever, Geraldine. Whatever. But I love you nonetheless, Mama. So yeah, that is something that, and I remember even after Katrina happened, we saw it on the news, and, we were a place that, they brought some evacuees to is that how you say it? Evacuate? Yeah. It doesn't sound right to me, but they brought some people who evacuated from, Louisiana. Actually, my best friend, her husband, is from Louisiana. This is how we actually came to know him, because we were in high school at this time. So a lot of, and the crazy thing is, the more I think about it, it shows how racist one side of my hometown is, because they did send some of the kids. So there are 2 high schools in my hometown. One is named John Tyler, which is my home, JTHS, John Tyler High School, Lions. So yeah, my school is called. They've actually now just changed the name of our schools. Excuse me, excuse me. Oh shit, excuse me, I'm my bad. Yeah, so my high school was John Tyler, and the other high school was Robert E. Lee. And you understand the reason why they just changed the name from Robert E. Lee and John Tyler. Which, what did they just name? Now, the strange part is the name changes that they gave the new high schools. It's so stupid because they named the one that was named after Robert E. Lee. It's named Tyler Legacy, and for the life of me, I don't understand why they named that school Legacy. In my hometown, the only school that has Legacy in our hometown is my alma mater, because we have the most trophies like we have the most trophies. We're the most decorated school. Our school actually has the most history, unfortunately, or fortunately, because before, I think like in the let's see what year it was. It was like the 80s, I believe, that the whole school burnt down, and they had to rebuild it. So it's a lot of legacy with my high school. Oh, my sister rocks. All right, you guys. So let's move on to the next story because I don't want to harp on that too long. The next story that I want to talk about is probably going to be a lengthy subject that I'm talking about. It's going to be this Jacob Blake situation, and also including a little 17-year-old asshole, Kyle Rittenhouse. So you guys, I gotta say, I'm like really tired of, waking up, getting on social media and just seeing where an unarmed black man is shot by cops. Like, what do we have to do in order to stop this bullshit from happening? Like, it feels like it's becoming more normalized these days just to see it. Like, it frightens me as a black man. Like, I've never really been a fan of the cops per se, but in this day and age, in this time, it makes me more apprehensive to calling the cops. It makes me leery of the cops. Like, if I call the cops for something, do I have to worry about them pulling a gun on me? Like, do I have to worry about them shooting me? Do I have to worry about this shit? Like, I've always thought about it because my mom always told me, even when I was a teenager, when I first started driving, she instilled in me, always listen to what the cops say. And the thing is, she always told me that because I'm the type of person that, if you tell me something, I'm going to come back at you, not in a bad way or in a way that demeans something. I'm just going to question you, like, why are you doing this to me? Why are you singling me out? And she always told me, Jerome, don't do that. Obey the cops. When they pull you over, when they ask for your license or registration, you give it to them. You give them your driver's license, and you let them know that you're going to, even, she always told me, tell them, hey, my registration is, it's in the glove compartment. Is it okay if I get it? She's always instilled that in me. And like I said, she always 100% instilled in me not to question the cops. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. She always instilled that in me. But even in this day and age, if you still do that these days, these cops seem like they're so fucking trigger happy when it comes to a black person, but a white person, like, we see this a lot when it comes to white people. And I have a lot of friends that are white, so I'm not judging, or I'm not talking down on anybody. But we just see it, because I saw quite a few videos where there was a video that I watched about a month or so ago, where there was a white woman who was getting pulled over by a cop. She completely resisted him, like, to no avail. She resisted him. She told him no, she was not gonna be arrested. Then she closed her door. She drove off. He followed in suit of her. So when he followed her and she stopped again, he opened the door and she tried to fight with him. And what did he do? He tased her. He didn't shoot her with a gun. He went for his taser and he tased her. Why is that so different for a black person? That's why I'm not drawing a parallel. This woman was fighting with the cop, literally fighting with the cop, and he tased her. But when it comes to black people, Tamir Rice, who else? Jacob Blake. What's the young man that was killed in the one that played the violin? Oh God, I forgot his name. I can't remember his name right now. But I mean, the list goes on. Breonna Taylor, which we're gonna talk about Breonna Taylor in just a little bit, but the list just goes on and on and on about the people, the black people that are unarmed that the cops have killed. Like, what's so different about a black person than a white person? I know what the answer is, and I'm not. That was a rhetorical question, you guys, by the way. But like, it's just mind blowing. It's baffling. It's mind blowing. It baffles me. It amazes me that you guys fear black people so much, but when a white person is fighting with you, you just tase the bitch, and that's it, and you arrest the motherfucker. Now, the one thing that I will say that is, I'm so shocked that Jacob Blake survived 7 gunshots. Now, I can understand, I can understand if he just said, let me just fire off a warning shot. You don't even have to hit the man. I don't understand why people, if you shoot somebody, if you want to startle them, scare them, shoot them in the leg, shoot them in the foot. But to shoot them in the back, you're either going to kill them, or what happened in Jacob Blake's case, paralyze them. This just feels like it's going to become a new normal. And I just can't understand it. I can't understand it. I can't rationalize it. It just makes no sense to me whatsoever. And Jacob was breaking up a fight between 2 women. Now, the thing is, the cops were trying to tackle him. I know they were trying to get him to the ground, and he walked away. When he walked away, that was your opportunity to do what? Tase him. And I know he was going into the car. People say he had a knife. Where was the knife at? What is a knife going to do to one cop when there's multiple cops? Now, again, no sense at all that it makes to me. Like, all this is unacceptable to me. And then, he's in the hospital, like I said, paralyzed. And here's the thing that I don't understand. Why is he handcuffed to a bed? That shit doesn't make any sense to me either. And then the one thing that I definitely want to say is so people have been bringing up his past, his criminal record. And my question to that is, so you brought up his criminal record. Does that mean that he deserved to get shot like that? If you say yes, there's something wrong with you. And I see white people doing it. I see these self-hating ass black people doing it. Like, what's the purpose in doing that? Would you want somebody to, if you have a criminal record of, speeding tickets, domestic abuse, robbery, theft, whatever, would you want someone just to shoot you for no fucking reason, and then people say, oh, but he robbed a bank, oh, he broke into people's houses, oh, he beat his girlfriend or boyfriend, or he or she beat their boyfriend or girlfriend up? Like, would you want somebody to say some shit about that about you? How would you feel? Would you like that? I don't think you would. So then let's talk about this little asshole, Kyle Rittenhouse, and his bitch of a mama. Now, if you guys don't like me saying that, I'm not apologizing for it, because I said what I said and I don't give a fuck. But Kyle Rittenhouse and his bitch of a mama, they decided that it was okay for him to cross state lines, go from Illinois to Wisconsin to Kenosha to protect, the buildings, because they're rioting and they're looting down there in Kenosha. Do I agree with that stuff? Not necessarily. Does it, bring light to the situation? Absolutely. So like I said, they felt like it was okay for him to cross the state lines with an assault rifle to, like I said, protect the businesses. But you don't live there. So what are you actually protecting? Nothing. All you're literally doing is hunting people down at this point, because he killed 2 Black Lives Matter activists who were just peacefully protesting. Now, I do see the people on social media saying, oh, they were throwing things at him. They were trying to attack him. They hit him with a skateboard. A skateboard? Is that your self-defense? A skateboard? So if someone hits you with a skateboard, you're gonna die? I don't think so. I think you're gonna live. I think you're just gonna have a few bumps and bruises, but otherwise, you're gonna live. And then, so they're saying that that's defense for him. And then the New York Times, they are posting him as this saint, this martyr, or something like that. Now, the one thing that I will say is that I'm happy that people are actually putting out there his criminal record, because he has a record. I think it started when he was 13, little fat bitch. Now, here's the thing that also gets me upset when it comes to this little motherfucker. So, he was walking down the street with the assault rifle. The people were telling the cops that he killed people. These motherfuckers didn't do shit. Nothing. Crickets. Nothing. But Tamir Rice playing with a toy gun, and you motherfuckers assume that that was a real gun, shot and killed him. Here we go again. A parallel. A difference between a white person with a real assault rifle and a child with a toy gun. You don't fear this. You don't fear him, but you fear the little black child. Make that shit make sense to me, because I don't understand it. All right, you guys. I'm gonna move on because I'm getting heated as I keep talking. So we're just gonna move on. All right, you guys. And then since I'm talking about, I want to include this in the same light with Jacob Blake. So you guys, the NBA and the WNBA, MLB, MLS, Major Soccer League. I did not know that. I mean, I don't know what that stood for, but that's what that stands for. So, the NBA currently, they are in the playoffs, and I think it was Wednesday that they were supposed to, it was supposed to be Game 5, the Milwaukee Bucks. Honestly, God, you guys, I haven't been keeping up. I love the NBA, but I haven't been keeping up with it lately because it's a different vibe for me personally. I mean, I know a lot of stuff that I watch is just like a different vibe, because most shows that I watch during the summer, they have live audiences, like Big Brother. There's no live audience, so it's kind of different watching that show. And then the NBA is like really different for me because I'm someone who loves the NBA. And watching the NBA, you just see that there are fans, but they're on like Skype calls. I know my cousin, she did one the other night. I don't remember which game she did it for. But, they're doing that. It's just not, for me, it's just not the same feeling for me. But I think it was Wednesday night. It was supposed to be Game 5, and in light of what happened with Jacob Blake, the Milwaukee Bucks, they said, hey, we're not playing. I know, I can't think of his name. The one that commentates for the games. Kenny. I think it was Kenny Anderson. I think it was Kenny. You guys have to correct me if I was wrong, but I think it was Kenny who took his microphone off and said he's supporting the players. Was it Kenny? God, I'm probably wrong. I could be wrong, you guys, but correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. But they said, hey, we are going to show solidarity and support of the Black Lives Matter movement, and we're not going to play. And I respect that. I know that now they're they're going to continue the games. I know the WNBA follows suit, the MLB, and like I said, the MLS. Now, here's the most annoying part about this situation to me, because yesterday, which was Thursday, y'all stupid ass president, WhatsApp, shout out to my sis Rocks for that one, they were talking to him about the situation. He is such a dumb bitch. He's sitting here talking about the fact that the NBA is too political these days. I don't think that they're too political. I think that what they're doing is using their voices to bring light to matters that mean something to them. So if you want to call that too political, and yeah, you guys, if you can hear my neighbor upstairs, I believe they're moving out of their apartment. So it's a lot going on. But I hope you guys can hear me. So yeah, he's talking about the fact that he is too political. He never made any mention to the whole situation with Jacob Blake. And then on top of that, he's talking about, their ratings are the lowest that they've been in a while. The only person that has low ratings in this current year of anything ratings related, it would be you, you fat, dumb, orange bitch. You're the one with the low ratings. But yeah, let me get off of that because I'm going to get pissed off again. So let's move on. All right, you guys, and then let's talk about the Republican National Convention. I'm going to be quite honest with you guys. Didn't watch this shit one bit. I saw the clips. Now, that one chick, what is her name? Kimberly Guilfoyle or something like that? I don't really know the woman's name like that. She was the biggest reason that I said there is absolutely no fucking way I could have watched this shit. Because I mean, when she was up there just screaming like a fucking banshee, I'm like, damn, can you not get your point across without yelling at the people? And the other thing with the Republican National Convention that kind of annoyed me is the fact that they're sitting here and they're telling nothing but lies. They're lying about what Donald Trump has done. I'm like, what has he done? I don't know what he's done. If you guys know what Donald Trump has done, please let me know in the comment section below what he's done, especially for the African American community, because that's what people love to say. And then I do see people talking about how, you know, so I saw people say that the Democrats are only going after the black vote. What are the Republicans? What is Donald Trump doing? There's a whole small movement, the Blacks for Trump. What's that? Oh, a contradiction. And then, you know, I know YSAP Jr., ugly ass Eric Trump got up there and spoke. Mike Pence spoke. Whatever the first hoe's name is. What is that woman's name? Melania Trump. I know she spoke. I be honest with you guys, like I said, I haven't listened to shit that these people have said because it's, again, nothing but them it's nothing but them perpetuating more lies. And then the one thing that annoys me with them is they keep repeating the same thing. So they keep saying that if you elect Joe Biden, that such and such and such and such is going to happen. More like, you know, with these lootings, the protests and everything like that, they're talking about this stuff is going to get worse. But here's the problem that I have with that whole sentiment. You're steady putting out there what will happen if Joe Biden is elected president, but you're failing to neglect what's actually happening with him as the president, because everything that's going on currently is on his watch. Coronavirus, his watch. Hurricane Laura, under you. The protest, under you. These police shootings, under you, my friend. Well, you're not my friend because I don't fucking like you. So that's where we are. So that's my whole thing. You guys want to keep perpetuating this whole thing of if you elect Biden, this will happen. Elect Biden, that'll happen. Da 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 da. But we're not addressing the elephant in the room, and the big elephant in the room is what. So if you're re-elected as president, what are you going to do to put an end to this stuff? See the dilemma? Huge dilemma. Because the first thing was this virus that is not going anywhere. Damn it, somebody called me from a block number, you guys, so sorry about that. But the biggest thing, like I was saying, the biggest thing that's not going anywhere is the virus. You're not doing anything to help this. And then, you know, you're still doing this attack against the post office. Like, my mail has been delayed. Like, I have a package that I ordered a green screen back in May. We are almost in September. I have still yet to get that fucking green screen. Like, I'm about to just say fuck it and just ask for I've been asking for my money back. I've been asking for my money back since July. They keep saying just wait and let it. I'm like, I'm moving. And I told them, I'm like, I'm moving. So even if the green screen does come to this apartment complex that I no longer live at, someone's going to take it and I'm still going to be out. I'm still going to have to get a refund for my fucking money. And then like, I got something in the mail that had been mailed out weeks ago and it's just been delayed. Like, you are sitting here doing all this shit, attacking the post office. Like, with Donald Trump, really and truly, all he is doing is he's trying to incite fear in his base so that they feel like they have no other choice but to reelect him. Like I said, I was on Twitter the other night and I tweeted out because I turned the channel immediately as the Republican National Convention comes on. But this night I had been out and about, and I came home and I saw Eric Trump on stage, and I'm like, he is doing nothing but lying. So a typical Trump supporter got in my mentions talking about, oh, that's a typical Democrat comment, and the Democrats are destroying everything. And I had to let her know, you just made a complete ass out of yourself because I am not a Democrat. She didn't respond back to me because I know she felt stupid as fuck when I told her that I'm not a Democrat. And I know you guys might be like, well, if you're not a Democrat, what are you? I don't identify, honestly, you guys. I have to be honest with you guys. I don't identify as neither Democrat nor Republican. I think I've said that before, but I don't identify as either one. What I go based off of is what candidate speaks to, my values and my beliefs. And even in the last two elections, neither Republican nor Democrat have, made me say, oh, I want to vote for this person. But I will be honest with you guys and tell you, in the last election, I did vote for Hillary. She wasn't my ideal choice, but I knew that I just could not vote for Donald Trump because he doesn't speak any volumes to me. And same this year, he doesn't speak to me. I don't listen to people who incite fear. I don't believe in fear. I trust one person, and that person tells me I don't have to fear anything at all. So I don't fear anybody. Now, is Joe Biden my choice for president? Hell the fuck no. Hell, if there was an independent that, actually I might look and see, but even if I voted for an independent, that would just be a vote for Donald Trump, honestly. So, God, this is terrible, you guys. But now I'm not telling you guys who you should vote for. That's not for me to decide. That's for you guys to decide. And if you guys are okay with voting for Donald Trump to be president again, that's fine. I don't have any issues with that. You have to make the decision. And if you can honestly say it's a decision that you feel firm and okay with making, then that's your decision, not mine. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to move off of this subject and on to something else. All right, you guys, and then this is a small continuation of the Republican National Convention news. So the Attorney General in Kentucky, he spoke at the Republican National Convention. I know Vernon Jones spoke as well, who's a Democrat, who looked absolutely foolish, to be quite honest with you guys. They both look foolish. But the Attorney General in Kentucky, he really looked foolish, and he really pissed me off. So much so, when he got on that stage and he had the audacity to mention Breonna Taylor's name. But to this day, nothing has been done in that case against Breonna Taylor. Those cops have not been arrested. Like Portia and Yandy are still going to, going down to Kentucky, going down there. Keep getting arrested, but nothing has been done. And I just felt so offended by him using that girl's name, young woman. I just felt so offended by him using that young woman's name. And this is more to the fact of what I was just talking about a few minutes ago when it comes to Jacob Blake. It's so funny. It's not like literally funny, but it's funny to me that a white person that does something, they get praised for it, but then when it comes to a black person, they get vilified. Because people keep vilifying Breonna Taylor. People vilify Jacob Blake. People vilify George Floyd. Like, people are making them out to be villains because of their past. Like, people talking about Breonna Taylor bailed her boyfriend out of jail. She was involved with drug people. But the thing is, the cops didn't do their due diligence in that case. And the judge who signed off on that warrant didn't do his due diligence either to realize that the person that they were looking for was actually already in fucking jail. So there's blame to go around, but the fact that you guys just want to keep vilifying this young woman, I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. How do you vilify someone who was in their bed, sleep, got shot by the cops. And then people's like, well, her boyfriend is the one who shot at the cops. Well, I'm sorry, but if you knock in my fucking door in the middle of the night, I don't give a fuck if you announce yourself as the police. I mean, I could literally do that myself. I could, just knock in somebody's door, police, but I'm not a cop. See the parallel? Exactly. So stop using that shit as a defense against the cops. You can't defend that shit. Now I'm moving on. All right, you guys, and then this is a follow-up on that big bad body built bitch Tim. Now, after I posted my video last week, it came out that another guy who worked on Nelly's album, I think Nellyville, his name, I can't pronounce the man's name, but they gave a nickname. His name is Wally. So he's been arrested in connection with this whole situation with Tim, big bad body built bitch. I'm the level of amazement that, I mean, this case just keeps amazing me, and not in a good way, in a bad way. So he was arrested in connection with this because of the fact that, oh, you know what I think they're doing? I think that they're getting that apartment ready for somebody else, because now they're hammering. So obviously, I really hope you guys don't hear that. I'm pretty sure you guys can hear the hammering, but I hope you don't hear it. Like, that is so fucking annoying to me. But threw me off my train of thought. Okay, so yeah, so the guy was arrested in connection with this case. And I said it last week that this whole thing, none of it made sense to me. So it's supposed to be some wire fraud, some just all kind of fraudulent shit. And I was thinking to myself, whoever gave Tim Norman this $450,000 insurance policy, I mean, that was a red flag right there. Why do you need such an enormous policy for someone? It doesn't cost that much money to bury a person. So I didn't understand $450,000 to bury a person. And even still, okay, so, and then you would have to look and see, when did he take out this policy? When did the person die? I don't know if Tim even thought this shit through. He probably didn't, but like, none of this shit makes sense. And like I said, the biggest red flag to me was the $450,000 life insurance policy. My mom, like I said last week on my video, my mom had, I don't think I said how much she had, but she had a good amount of money in her life insurance policy. And I had enough to bury her, and I had enough money that I could have for myself. That's another story. We're not going to talk about that story ever, what happened with that money. But one day God is going to bless me. I know you are. Because that wasn't my fault, what happened with that money. But that's neither here nor there. But I just don't understand that. $450,000, it doesn't cost that much to bury a person. Even if you cremate, I mean, if you go the cheap route, cremate them, that doesn't cost that much money at all. And then what else? Also, he had a $1 million life insurance policy on Ms. Robbie. And I'm like, now that's where the line got drawn for me. And this when I was like, it's a wrap. I can't deal with this shit anymore. How do you take out a $1 million policy on your own mother? Your mother, of all people. Your mother? Like, I love my mama to death. No amount of money. I would never, I mean, thank God she had a life in her own policy. Actually, she had a policy for herself and for me. So I would have never had to take one out on her. But even if I did take one out on her, it would just be in protection of her life. You know, a protection of her and a protection of me in case something happens, and I can, so I can take care of her. But never would I take out something so huge and probably do the things that Tim was considering doing. Like, I could never, even with my birth mother, she's not, we are not as close as we could be. But even with my birth mom, I would never take out a huge policy on her with the intention of hurting a woman. She might not be, like I said, we might not have the best relationship, but I would never intentionally do something to hurt her, ever. Because she is the person that gave birth to me, so I could never intentionally hurt her. That would never be my intention. So I just don't understand Tim in this whole situation. That is your mother. Your mother. Lord Jesus. Jesus be offense for him. There's a special place in hell for you, you big, bad, body-built bitch. A cold place in hell. No, it's a warm place in hell for you. God is, oh God. Fuck that bitch. Let's move on. All right, you guys. So I think that does it for all the big stories that I want to discuss this week. If I feel like discussing anything else, I'll do another video. But this is small talk. So let's talk about some of the stuff that's not that important or big. So congratulations are in order for Garcelle Beauvais, who has now been announced as one of the new hosts of The Real. Kind of interesting that they chose Garcelle. I know Garcelle has done, daytime television before. She did a show with Ross Matthews a few years ago. So she's definitely not new to daytime television. But I find that is interesting. I find that is going to be kind of interesting with her, because she's not in the same age range as most of the girls. I think the only person that she might be close in age to is Lonnie Love, because she's much older. I'm not gonna say much older, but she's definitely older than Adrian. She's definitely older than Jeannie Mai. Actually, let's see how old Garcelle is, because I actually don't know how old Garcelle is. And I'm not saying anything bad about her age. It's just that I don't really see her, having much in common with those girls. So Garcelle is 53. Wow. Garcelle is 53? Damn. She looks good. Let's see how old Lonnie Love is. Lonnie's in her 40s, right? Yeah, Lonnie's 49. So yeah, Garcelle is closer in age to Lonnie, but I really honestly don't see Garcelle having, a whole lot in common with them. And I know Adrian is around my age. I think Adrian's like, what, 35? 36 maybe? Because I know Adrian is definitely older than I am. How old is Adrian? 36. How did I get that right? So yeah, Adrian is 36. She'll be 37 this year. And then how old is Jeannie? And again, you guys, don't think that I'm, attacking her age, because I'm not. The thing is with this show right here, the chemistry is where I'm really, it's not the age, it's really the chemistry between them. And it also their age is also kind of factor in just a little bit, because they have different life experiences. That makes sense. Wow, Jeannie's 41. She looks good. Did not know she was 41. But yeah, I just don't know how that's going to mesh well with Garcelle joining The Real. And then so is she going to I don't even know if she's going to stay on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But, I definitely do have to say congratulations to Garcelle for that one. That's a good look for her. I don't see it lasting long, because hell, Tamara's gone. Amanda Seals lasted 6 months. Yeah. And then the next thing that we want to talk about is the versus battle that's going to happen this coming Monday. People have been discussing Brandy and Monica doing a versus. I had been on the fence about Brandy and Monica doing a versus, because and I think it's actually the issues with Brandy and Monica is really with Brandy. And I love Brandy, so I don't want to be like, oh, you don't like Brandy? No, I love Brandy. Brandy is my girl. Like, I love me some Brandy, but I also love me some Monica as well. So, it's going to be an interesting one. But it's going to be a fun time nonetheless, because like I said, I love Brandy, I love Monica, so I'm gonna have a good fucking time regardless. Listen to some of the music because I actually still listen to, like when it comes, like if you guys ask some of my friends, like when my friends get in my car with me, they're like, damn, you listen to old school music. Yes, I don't listen to anything from this new generation of music. It's very rare that you'll hear me listen to something that's current from a current, from this new generation. Most of the music that I listen to is old school. Like when I tell you guys I listen to old school, like I listen to shit from the 90s, the 80s and the 90s. I don't listen in the 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s. 2010 on up, I don't too much fuck with it unless it was like really, really, really good. And so I listen to a lot of Brain. I listen to He Is from Full Moon. I listen to Full Moon. What About Us? Baby. Sitting Up in My Room. What else do I listen? God. The list goes on and on. Monica. Should Have Known Better. Love All Over Me. Love All Over Me. What else? What else I listen to from Monica? Angel of Mine. For You I Will. Whew, that list can go on. I can keep talking about the songs that I listen to from Brandy and Monica. So I don't really, it's not a who's gonna win when it comes to Brandy and Monica. It's just a thing of me listening to some good ass music and having a damn good time. Now, if you guys ask me who am I gonna pick, oh God, who would I pick? Who would I pick in a versus battle between Brandy and Monica? Oh, let me think. If I were to choose, if I were to choose, I'm gonna go with wow. See, one part of me is saying Brandy, but then the other part's like, nah, nigga, you gotta go with Monica. So it's a toss up. So we are going to say toss up. We're not gonna pick. It's just a toss up. So that's it. Then let's talk about the little nigga, aka Kevin Hart. So the little nigga announced that he had the coronavirus in a video. I didn't really watch that video. I'm not a big fan of the little nigga. Now my best friend, however, loves Kevin Hart. That would like, if she would have a hall pass, I can tell you who her two. If she would have a hall pass, the two dudes that she is gonna pick, Chris Brown and Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is actually gonna be number one, and Chris Brown is number two. How do I know that? That's how long we've been friends. We've been friends for, this year makes 16 years. I think that we've been best friends. I think we've been best friends for 16 years now. Yeah, this makes 16 years because we were friends before Katrina. So yeah, this year makes 16 years that we've been friends. God, that is a long time. That is a long fucking time we've been friends. And yeah, so the one thing that I will say is get better soon, little nigga. Then the other thing that caught my eye this week was Jeffree Star. The Shade Room. I don't know why they felt the need to post this shit. Somebody went deep sea dumpster diving because Jeffree Star took a picture with someone and they had their arms around him and you could see the tattoos. Well, Inspector Gadget decided, somebody over there at the Shade Room, Inspector Gadget, decided to go research who the guy was. They found out that he was an NBA, well, he was a basketball player overseas, and that is loud as fuck. And he's black. I don't have an issue with, who you date or no shit like that. The only thing that I just have a problem with is the fact that we know Jeffree Star is a problematic racist motherfucker. And I mean, if that's what you want to support and that's what you like, you be my guest and have the fuck at it. I ain't got shit to do with it. And then let's close this out with that dumbass Masika. So I think it was like, domestic violence or sex trafficking that she was supposed to be promoting a video for, talking about go donate $100 or whatever to her OnlyFans. And then the people that she said that she was working with, they came out and said, no, she's not working with us. And then she said, oh, yes, I was. She showed a letterhead of what they sent to her. They said, nope, that ain't even how our letterhead looks. That is so fucking sad. Like, girl, you are that desperate for attention that you would use something so serious to try to boost up your OnlyFans. Masika, get a fucking life. Make your baby daddy pay your child support. Hell, if that nigga even got money, because I mean, damn, really. That is so sad. Fetty Wap has so many fucking kids, but only 2 hits that I know of. 679 and what was that other one? Trap Queen. Or is that the same song? That's how much I know about Fetty Wap. But you guys, that is gonna wrap it up for this week's hottest topics. So we do this every single week, not necessarily at the same time, but it's the same place. So you guys, until the next one, you guys, do me a solid favor out there. Stay safe, take care of yourselves, stay hydrated, wash your hands and your ass. And until the next one, you guys, bye.